Once again, award-winning children's publisher Kids Can Press offers up a veritable cornucopia of great books for kids, including these highlights from their fall 2015 season. Stanley is back! Stanley at School, the 6th book in the best-selling series from the multi-award-winning team of Linda Bailey and Bill Slavin, will have children roaring with delight. Every day, Stanley the dog watches as all the children in his neighborhood walk down his street and into their school, where they stay until the afternoon. And every day, he gets more and more curious. What do the kids do in that school all day? His dog friends at the park are just as curious, so they decide to find out. After all, what could be more fun than 4 dogs running loose in an elementary school? Small children love stories about things in their world getting turned upside down, and this story delivers in a big way. Stanley and his puppy pals make their way through lunchboxes, chase basketballs, and upend instruments and paint jars before eventually getting marched out by the principal, the top dog at the school. Stanley at School is doggone fun and is a natural for a lively read aloud that kids and adults will love. In The Pacific Ocean, Keo McClear, acclaimed author of Spork and Virginia Woolf, teams up with illustrator Katty Morey to tell the story of a little girl whose reluctance to go on a beach holiday turns into a pensive celebration of the wonders of the sea.
So The Pacific Ocean is the story of a young girl who goes away on a family vacation, much to her great dismay because she really wants to stay at home with her friends, and how she begins to like and then eventually love the ocean. The illustrator of this book is Katty Morey, and her illustrations to me just feel so perfect. Somebody described them as feeling sun-bleached, and another person said that the colors look like sea glass, and I think that's exactly right. I think when we love a place, we don't just love it in our minds, we love it with everything. I love the idea that we could find that place wherever we are if we just stopped and took a moment to sit somewhere and learn to love it. And maybe in some ways, it's not just us loving a place that sustains us. It's that we sustain those places by loving them. So I think this story is a bit of a love story about finding a place where you can feel a connection to the ocean and to things around you.
Award-winning author and illustrator Marianne Dubuque is a master at clever, specific details, as her previous books can attest, and her skills are once again on display throughout Mr. Postmouse's rounds. In this bustling picture book, Mr. Postmouse carefully loads up his wagon and sets off to make the day's mail deliveries to all the creatures on his route. Via cross-section drawings, readers get to peer inside all of the homes Mr. Postmouse stops at, and each one is different depending on the animal or creature that lives there. There's a hole in the kitchen floor of the rabbit's home leading underground to where they eat, sleep, and do other things. Mr. Snake's super long home has heat lamps along its length. The birds live in a treehouse. Mrs. Octopus in a sunken shipwreck, while Mr. Bear's house has a handy beehive on the roof. With so much happening on every page, children will love poring over the illustrations on their own, discovering something new on their rounds of the book. The Citizen Kid collection of books makes global issues kid-sized, and the latest book in the collection is no exception. Child Soldier, When Boys and Girls Are Used in War, is the first graphic novel from Citizen Kid and is geared to readers ages 10 to 14, slightly older than the other books in the collection. We talked to Michelle Cicquanini about his story.
Child Soldier is a memoir about my story, having gone through the experience of being a child soldier at the age of 5. It chronicles my experience escaping this ordeal and ending up in a refugee camp with my family, escaping a war that affected so many people in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The illustrator of this book is Claudia Davila, and Claudia does an incredible job of really bringing to life my story. I know how difficult the topic of child soldier is, and how difficult it is, first of all, to explain to many different people. But this graphic novel really does a great job of depicting my story in a very real way, but also not making it too violent for young people. My family loved the book. They just started crying when they saw images of my dad. And they kept telling me how humbled they were to remember where my story was from the beginning when I was 5 to seeing me now. At the back of the book, there's an educational resource for young people to try and figure out how they can go back into the community to try and end the issue of child soldier. And I think for me, it's one of the most important part of the book because as much as my story is so important, taking action and ending the issue is just as important.
The spare and elegant picture book, The Tea Party in the Woods, opens with a young girl named Keiko who discovers that her father has forgotten the pie he was supposed to bring to Grandma's house. Keiko offers to try and catch him as he makes his way through the woods. She follows her father's footprints in the snow and happens upon a large house she has never seen before. Has it always been here? Keiko wonders and creeps closer to take a look. Are you here for the tea party? Asks a little lamb. And Keiko suddenly realizes her trip through the woods has turned into something magical. Award-winning author and illustrator Akiko Miyakoshi has crafted an original, beautiful fairy tale picture book that will delight and enchant. The black and white art features an occasional splash of color to help guide readers through the pages, and the many unexpected twists and turns of Keiko's journey make for an intriguing adventure story.